I said, come take a tour with me deep inside of my inner thoughts. This shit is dark, so follow my voice, cause it won't get you lost. Where do I start? These stories and choices that I done been across, and then there's God, that light so bright, can let them dim it off. This shit is wrong. You see something wrong, so hush, don't get involved. But you can't evolve when everyone around, just like the mimic frogs. I witnessed more. Came to a point like what I'm living for. Learned I had to keep my spirit strong, even when the religion's wrong. That's deep. Stay with me, can't lose you. I need to vent some more. I know I managed to graduate and then go get a job, but I ain't a boss, because half of my squad, they still try to get you robbed. I'd be like, nah, that ain't the shit that we need to be upon. This shit get hard. Some people don't see you without expensive cars, but I got bills. I ain't making no meals. I can't be living large and some result of whipping hard while cops wait and sit and watch all night. Feel like they got a right to kill me who isn't armed with no regard. I told my mom it won't be long before the storm. She was falling, the storm is coming. We just can't keep holding on. My mama strong. Raised me to lead. She tell me go perform. I know they wrong. Staff in my head. Getting my Moses on. Now down, we
Welcome to Raw Talent with your host, Miss Tink. Welcome to Raw Talent. Welcome to Raw Talent with your host, Miss Tink. Welcome to Raw Talent.
So, who is Rel Lyfe?
Rel Lyfe. Rel Lyfe is Terrell, but that's my alter ego. When I get into Rel Lyfe, I'm complex. So Rel Lyfe is somebody who's learned to embrace himself and his journey and display who they are. So if I was to tell you Rel Lyfe, I was like have to start from the whole story. Make it alone. We got time. Yeah, I got you.
We got time.
But for starters, I'm from Harlem, New York. So Rel Lyfe, I was brought up in a Harlem, New York environment, which is it's mixy. You know what I'm saying? Like you got one thing about Harlem, I love about Harlem is it's soulful. They got a lot of historic stuff there, but in the same sense, it's mixy. It's the streets. It's dangerous. Like you got one or two options. You either get down, and stay out the way, and be considered like an outcast. So for my childhood years, I really grew up there and had to go through that for the most part. Like I don't know, adjusting in the street environment and trying to remain true to who you are.
Right.
And that was a challenge, at least starting from Rel Lyfe's childhood years. Like just having to maneuver through, all right, if I do this, I may be more accepted. But deep down, I may not want to do this. So now I got to battle with, all right, if I stay true to myself, maybe I get the respect that way. And through trial and error, you go through a bunch of stuff before you can get comfortable with who you are. But that's Rel Lyfe in the short years. I say 94 to 2012-ish. Yeah, like when I was born in 2012-ish, I'm growing up. You know, this is like 2012, I graduated high school. So I would like cap that as the part to where you starting to develop to know who you are. Like, I can say those early years, I didn't know who Rel Lyfe was. It's still developing. Like, all right, I like this, I don't like that. Okay, this seems cool. All right. But as I got older and grew, I got to a point where, like I was just saying, I want to be true to who I am. Right. So outside of that, Rel Lyfe started with that background and then just went through a life journey. I came to Virginia. I started going to church heavy. I started even dabbling in gospel music, but I was just on a search to figure out who I was. Right. Did church, I had corporate jobs. I still had my street background, but I'm in the midst of different other environments to try to get a hold. Who am I and how can I stand on it? And today, I just feel like I'm a raw, no pun intended, a raw individual. I like to represent and stand on who I am and be myself. But like I said, it's hard to explain who Rel Lyfe is because it's an ever-going process. I might be somebody today and I'll go through a new experience tomorrow. I said it can happen tomorrow and I might not ever be the same person I was. So it's a process, but to answer that, I can just say I'm real. I would just wherever I'm at that time, you're gonna get a raw me, not like a character or let me do this because it's suitable. Like I've embraced the fact that however I feel, that's what I'm gonna give out.
Is that how you came up with the name?
No. My uncle helped me with that name actually. I struggled for a rap name at one point because I was just Relly. It was just Relly. He was like, Relly what?
Now what go with it?
Relly D, like I was adding stuff. And I had an uncle that was locked up, so we used to burn Uncle Pop. But I remember writing him a letter one time. I was just explaining to him, like, I'm struggling with the name. I go by Relly. And I'm like, that's it. And people saying Relly what? And when he wrote back, he only gave me 2 suggestions. Like, he had this whole little company. He was like, with the name, you got to think of something that fits you. And then he put Rel Life, but he didn't spell life with the Y. And then it just hit me right there because I still keep my Relly, like Rellyfe. And I'm like, I got it. Rel Lyfe, Rel Lyfe. And then from there, it stuck. I'm like, all right, that's it. I had to just start announcing that everything. Rel Lyfe, Rel Lyfe, Rel Lyfe, real life shit. We hear like, hey.
Yeah.
And it just started to roll like that. But sounds to Unc, he really helped with that name because I was struggling. It was just Relly. Everybody knew me as Relly.
Well, I like it. It's different. It's dope.
Yeah, what, Rel Lyfe?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it stuck. Like, now I got people that legit call me that. They know that's my stage name. I'm proud of that. I chose it and it got to stick and now it ring bells nowadays. So that's good.
So on your resume, you listed you're an artist and a performer. What's the difference?
It is a difference. So I feel like artist is more so creative, right? Like that goes down to the behind the scenes and actually constructing something and making a good art. The performance side of it is like delivering it and like having to display your art to the world. I feel like it's a different niche in performing versus the creative aspect. Like it's some of the greatest, right? That's why you got ghostwriters. Like, they're good at, but they may not be able to perform it, but some of them write some of the best songs. So I put both because I know how to deliver as well. And I don't know, I feel like I should highlight that more. Like, yeah, like, I ain't just an artist, but we perform. What's the word?
Because most people don't list that as a ability when they list your ability. When I asked you what your ability, you said artist and performer. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah,
performer.
that's funny because I paused. I was like, artist. That's big. I ain't just want to be no artist. I perform too, like but I really feel like that because I know how I'm mastering the execution part of a lot of stuff. So it's like you can be a great artist, you can be a great rapper. To execute it itself, that's a talent. Like you got to be able to say, I can come up with an idea and then now deliver it and execute it. So,
yes, because if y'all ain't paying attention, his stories are amazing.
I'm weak, right?
You get lost in the videos. You'll be sitting there like, oh shit. Did you see that happen?
Keep trying, man.
So what's the most challenging aspect of being an artist?
It's a lot of challenging aspects. For me, it's right now I could say the most. I feel like it's dealing with like the energies of other people. Not that I focus on it too much, but it's starting to become something I'm aware of because I'm growing. So I'm noticing now, like when I walk in certain rooms, I really demand a lot of attention. Like people was like, who's that? Who's like? So now for me, it's like I want to still be freely and performing and being an artist and delivering. But because of like my street background, I gotta be on point and aware a lot of times too. So I just struggle with like trying to gauge whether or not people is legit fans or people is hating and trying to like I don't know. I feel like that energy exists out there, and the bigger I'm growing, I feel like I'm enticing it. Like, all right, I'm stepping out to say I'm the best. Now somebody else in here that rap me, he may not feel like I'm the best. I feel like I'm doing too much because it is looking like I'm the best now. Everybody's not gonna just give it up like yo that was hot. They might. And then, I don't know, but that's the struggle for me because I think about it because I know it's real. Like I come from an environment where I've seen people hate on you just because you do it right. So it's like now that I'm doing a lot of right, I'm like I gotta watch out for these haters that might.
Right.
But yeah, the answer that would be the most difficult, at least for now. But it doesn't stop me too much. Like I got my own little regiments to keep my energy intact. But it's not to say I don't be aware of it. It don't be coming across my mind. So I try to keep a good team around me, people I could delegate so that way they don't all fall on me and take away from
the main focus.
Yeah, but it's real in the world. That's my part. I don't want to be naive to that point. Like people, we can be doing our crafts and keep working, but the vultures is out there. There's people that want to take you out, and they don't got to be physically or violent, but there's other ways that people do that. So just trying to be aware of that and then still perform and deliver. It's tricky. It get tricky,
but you're persevering.
Yeah, definitely. I signed up for it. I'm like, bring it on. Like, I'm ready for it, but I would say for me, it's becoming the toughest part now because I feel like I'm at a certain point where I gotta start poking my chest out more. When you do that, you're gonna attract some type of confrontation because
Mm-hmm.
you're not just rapping and being like, "Oh, I'm nice, I'm cool." You like, this is it. Whatever they doing ain't it, and y'all need to. And that's a difference. So it's like either people gonna rock with you and be on your team, or some people that's gonna look at you and say, "Oh, he on the other side." Like, oh, he think he about to steal this momentum. All right, I got something, and then now you in a whole different
Lane.
right. So that's real, but I would say that's the difficulty. It come with the
It's
territory.
definitely real life.
Yeah, hey, there you go. Right.
So what genre do you think you fall in?
Don't. But yeah, I don't like that whole bio. It is cliche-ish. I hear a lot of artists saying, I don't want to be boxed in, I don't want to be boxed in. But me, don't put me in a genre. You can put my art in a genre. Like if I was to make a gospel album, I'm not opposed to you calling my project gospel or this
But you're not
hip
labeled a
hop
gospel artist.
R&B. Yeah, but don't put me as in that genre. I'm just an artist and a creative. So if I give you something, a piece of art, then we'll label the art with the genre. So that's how I was feeling. Man. Gave you a rock and roll project. I ain't a rock and roll artist, no true did call me a rock and roll artist, but I might have just
I
tapped
would
into
like to
that
see that
bag.
though.
It's possible.
I would
Yeah.
like to see that though.
It's possible.
So what do you want your supporters to take away from your music?
Interesting. Kind of back to what I was saying about how I grew up. Like I want my supporters to be comfortable being themselves and understanding that you can think for yourself because we live in a world where even with the music they feed to you the cool stigma like this is what you're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to have a bunch of change, supposed to. So even in my music I try to give you the raw meat and then want the supporters to feel like, oh, I can be myself, I don't gotta do this because it feel like it's cool and then you lost, you just trying to like keep up with the trend. So I want them to literally feel that like, wow, someone's doing it. Like I got songs called Corporate Thug and I really got a corporate job. I don't want you to, as a supporter, to feel like in order to win, I gotta rap about shooting. Like, nah, you could bring your real
And
life to it.
I want to say this too because watching your videos, what you talking about, knowing that you got a background in the streets,
Right.
you don't see the gun violence in your videos. It's not like you're glorifying the street life per se.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you're talking about it or it's a scene where something street happens.
Right, right.
I have to give it to you that you can put somebody in without having the flashy money and the guns and you know what I'm saying? And all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I don't see that aspect of your rap, which sets you apart from a lot of artists.
Right.
You know, in its own.
Nah, and back to the point, cause I do it purposely. I try to, and it's fun. I be going like I've had my boys or video directors like, yo, we got props, we got the guns, we got the blah, blah. I have to go out my way to say, nah, that's not what I'm trying to capture for this. I want to make sure it's realistic, cause that's back to the what I want the supporters to get. I want it to be real. Some people that know me, they might be like, even though I got a street background, you can see when people fake. Even with other artists, you can see it. If you winning, that's cool, but I still feel like it's noticeable. Like, yeah, that's not him. But alright, I guess I don't want that. I'd rather you be like, nah, he official, he real, and I don't got all of the success of someone else that gotta put a character on every time they get up.
Yeah.
I'd rather just I'm me, you know. So I try to do that in the music. So I even think you
you're
put a highlight in that because
successful at it.
that's good. That's good.
Definitely paying attention to that. So who is Rap Elite?
Rap Elite, that's a Richmond platform that I pretty much came across. Wow, I have a little history with them too. I forget how I first heard about them. It might have been just through Instagram. I signed up one time. I forget the year. It might have been like 2019. I want to say that was the first time that I went there. I was going through something at that time too. I'm weak. I was yeah. But anyway, I get there. I for us a cipher. What they did is they have 30 MCs come for a cipher. They'll give you the beat, and then the 30 MCs they just go, and then they're gonna declare a winner at the end of the cipher. That was my first time there when I went in like 2019. I made it to sudden death off my first time there, which is like they couldn't decide a winner. It was like 5 MCs, and now we all got to rap in this process of elimination. I didn't win. That was just my first time there though. And then afterwards, I hadn't gone back in a while. Like I think there was mad stuff going on. I got arrested, came back home, and then It was just a whole process. I forgot about. I never got my footage from them or anything from that day. But fast forward, they hit me up randomly. I want to say about 6, 7 months ago. Like, hey, somebody dropped out. Can you fill in? Like, we don't got 30 MCs, so we trying to come. I'm like, oh yeah, I bet I'll be there. I go back. And this time, I don't know. I like Rap Elite because they help me challenge myself a lot more too. Like I said, it's 30 MCs there to be rapping, and I had like a cocky connotation going. Even this time, I'm like, I got mad bars. I'm nice. I'm about to just go there,
You definitely got
rap
bars.
circles around
You
everybody,
definitely got bars.
and I went up there, and it kind of didn't go like that. Only like I did. I still rap, but I didn't win this time. I didn't even make it to sudden death, and I felt like I wasn't giving them 100%. Like I was giving them throwaways, and it was showing. Like, all right, okay. So I wasn't mad at myself, but I'm like, I don't like where they ranked me. Why wasn't like, I'll be back. I'll come back the next time, go again, and now they starting to realize now. I'm like, all right, wait, I didn't like how they ranked me the time after. I feel like I should be number one. So now it just hit me at one point. I said, I'm about to start tailoring everything for this platform. Like, when I go to rap for them, I'm not about to just give them some raps I got, or I'm about to pin something for this, and that's when it changed as far as like even our relationship. The respect level just it stepped up a lot more because they really could see the potential now. Like, and it was a good acknowledgement for me because I'm so used to, even my whole life, I was used to giving 75%, and it's good enough for everybody else. Like, okay, oh yeah, he's good, but they don't know I didn't tap into that 100% to where I could have been great, but I was content with that. Like, all right, yeah, they know I'm nice, so that brought it out of me. It was like, let me try and give them 80, 85. I'm still not gonna say 100 yet. I'm getting there, but
the fact that you know you need to improve, that's self-awareness.
Yes.
Which is very important in life, period.
Yes,
and in real life.
And on the other side ain't healthy. Like, I know it's not good to. I mean, it's a 2020. What they call it? I forget. Yeah, no, not hindsight. Catch 22. That's what I was just saying.
Okay.
But
it's 2020.
yeah,
I'm like,
it's a catch 22 because it's like you wanna think you the shit. You wanna think you the hottest. Right. But I don't want to trick myself to where I'm thinking that this effort is the hottest because I can do that. If I'm seeing my 75% work, I can start leaning on that. Like, yeah, all I do is give 70, I'll be alright. And I'm going in places giving 70, like, oh, they got me. And then I'm not mad at them, like, I don't ever be like, oh, because I know I didn't give the 100. So it's like, unless I give the 100%, then I'll be upset. Cause I feel like my 100%, you can't beat my 100%. And as I said, it's a catch-22 because I know that. I'm like, I'm only give them this. That way, if I lose, I'm not gonna be too mad because I know I didn't give them 100%, but it's not healthy, like I said. So they kind of got me into wanting to hit that full potential that way.
That's good.
Yeah, shout outs to them too. We back, I think in October is the next one. October 20, don't quote me, 27, whatever that Sunday is before Halloween is the next one. But big shout outs to them because I love the platform. They cultivate artists there and they give me a space to test my pen. They push my pen because, trust me, I went through a phase to where I thought I couldn't get no better. Like, my pen is just, alright, I'm nice. I did so much. I did like the whole, did you stumble across like the 30 Bar Thursday segment?
No. Yeah, I think I did. I don't think we listened to it.
I did I think it was 2019 at that. Every Thursday for the whole year, I did like 30 bars and put them on YouTube. 30 bars, 30 bars. I didn't miss not one Thursday, but at that point when I finished that, I was like, I don't want to be writing bars no more. Like, I've done this so much, so effortlessly that I was just thinking that I got it. But shout outs to Rap Elite again, because they the ones who kind of, I got there and was like, oh, alright, let me start reconstructing some new, fresh material and let me show. I keep getting better. I still got it. So, yeah, big shout outs to them. That's
so you're a writer as well?
Yes. That's
so you can add that to your resume.
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Because everybody that's an artist ain't a writer.
Yeah, that's very true.
Too, so,
Yeah, I could write for people. I have before, too. So.
Oh, okay. Ghostwriting, that's where the money is, too. Definitely.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. You gotta get the right person.
Yeah.
I don't like when people just be picking up people and then wanna like, alright, like you gotta be the performer, like you was talking about, and then it make more sense. But just because it's a girl around and we rapping, don't just be like, yo, let's make her rap, and then we writing all the rhymes, and then she don't got the other package or whatever else it is.
Right.
Like,
She
yeah.
can't deliver it to make it believable.
Yeah, but I always thought about that, like that ghostwriting field. Once you get your foot in the door, I can do. I already started holding songs like to sell. Like I'm like, this is hard. But I feel like someone, if I get into the right studio, you want this? Like, yeah, man, that's true. Like that's ghostwriting too. Like they could take it in that aspect, but I just haven't tapped into that world enough yet. It's a placement for me there. I wrote songs for my job, I write Capital One songs. I've done like little mad
Capital One songs though?
Yeah, you know, they create that whole week. They be trying to like get out the box, be a little more inclusive and stuff like that. Try to think of creative ways for people to remember stuff, but they knew I had a music background and I can write. I really can write. So that was just the point for that. I wrote a whole song about tracking complaints and knowing how to do them and not just singing and going along. So I know it's there, but it's just getting in that world. Like, yeah, I'm not opposed to it at all. I can write.
And some branches.
Right, exactly. Yeah, versatility.
So you said you had a fear of losing until you lost. What did losing teach you?
I had a fear of losing until I lost. I'm weak. Losing taught me that to give my 100%. Like back to what I was even saying then. Like when I realized I couldn't be mad at nobody but myself. So it was like, damn, it was really humbling. Like, who do you think you are that you could go up in these spots and give your half effort and think you just still gonna win? When somebody else could have gave their 100, like that's selfish of me to think that my 60% is gonna beat somebody at their 100.
Right.
And it's like, and then so that taught me like stop half-assing thinking that my half-ass is great. Even though it can be in retrospect, but I don't need to think that. That's not going to be no benefit for me because it's just going to make me not give more effort more.
Right. What drives your musical inspiration?
It depends. It varies. Mostly it's other music. Like certain artists could really, and it's not content-wise. It's more so it drives me in the act of, alright, it's time to go create. Like I hear certain, like Meek just dropped. Meek Mills has always been one that when I listen to him, I usually can't even get too far because I'm like, I gotta do music. I get inspired. Like, alright, so
that's crazy because he's one of my favorite artists, and most people don't mention him like
they
that.
Don't. They be trying to sleep on my boy, but like, he's very inspirational artist for me because it makes me want to start talking and getting my bag. So that inspires me the most lately because I feel like I've been making so much music. Like in general, I made a lot of music. I've worked with people, and I'm like the go-to person. I know how to come up with the hooks. So sometimes I get bored out of just doing it for fun. I gotta get inspired, and it be the music, certain other music. Meek Mill, Sue Surf is another one. I hear his music, I be like, I gotta start writing again. I gotta start making music. But I get inspired by other music a lot more. Other people watching them do they. And I'm like, alright, I start smiling and getting hyped because I know what I need to do for my story. Our stories ain't the same. Don't get it. I get inspired. Like, I gotta go step up. But yeah, that's what inspires me, at least from the creative aspect. Content-wise, it's just life. Like certain experience. I've been inspired by just things happening or moods you might get in because of what's going on in the world. You're like, alright, I gotta speak and I talk about it. I gotta write.
Do you ever hold a fear of running out of content?
No, cause I live life. I mean, like I go outside. It's always gonna be stuff to talk. I'm very observative and insightful, so like I can read a room, and it's always it's content and everything. So I don't ever feel running out of content, and I'm at a point to where I'm bold enough to talk about a lot. So it's like I'm not too shy to step away from certain content. It's all about rollouts though, and marketing and branding. Like that's important now. Even with content wise, I don't want to talk about a subject and I'm not branded that way. Now I'm confusing my people and supporters, so just gotta be mindful of that too.
Speaking of branding, who is Niners?
Niners is our brand. Niners it stands for the Nine Equal Wisdom. ERS is expand, rebuild, and strive. And it's like the whole slogan, it takes wisdom to expand, rebuild, and strive. And me and my boy, shouts to Sauce, we came up with it because we just needed something like a brand. That's also our block. We from 39th and Lenox, and we was wanting to bring something that had some type of substance, some type of productivity. It's not a gang. You wanted to bring something positive for the neighborhood.
Yeah, at first thought when you hear it, it does sound like
I'm weak,
it's
yeah.
a game. I was looking at like Niners.
Right.
And he's like, my mama asked me
if
was
I
that a
gang
gang, and
bang,
I
I
was
told her
like,
no.
I was like, okay.
Facts.
All right, so it's not a gang, okay.
Nah, it's not at all. And it's a movement. We trying to build it into an empire. We got the merch. That's one
Definitely
aspect.
heavy.
Right.
Corporate Thug.
Right.
Was Niners all day.
All
I was
day.
like,
Nice.
oh, if he ain't promoted that.
Right. Yep.
Promoted that to the fullest.
And the goal is just to grow it.
Even that to the computer you was sitting in front of.
You seen that? Like, let them know.
He got that on the computer, the TV behind him. Got the city in it. Like, oh yeah, I pay attention.
Like, the computer, the TV in the background. No, that's so real.
I was like, on top of the shirts and stuff, but it was like,
we had hoodies laying on us.
Yes. For me, it was like the little things, like the TV and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And somebody else might not really catch that they're actually looking at it. Yeah, you know, I'm like, oh look, he got it on the TV behind him. Look, it's right there too.
That's dope. But yeah, it came from having even establishing a brand. I feel like that's important for any artist when you're doing something outside. I don't want the brand to revolve around me, like my name. Like it's just Rel Lyfe. I am my own brand in itself, but I'd rather be able to step back and give something bigger. Like my friends don't have to be on the Rel Lyfe campaign. They can be on the Nanas campaign. It's the same thing. Rel Lyfe music is Nanas music. Rel Lyfe music.
Like I said, Miss Tink is all things raw talent.
Exactly. Yeah, that's his own brand. So we can champion. It gives you the opportunity to step out of it. It don't put you in a box. Right. So you can be like, all right, I'm Rel Lyfe, but I have the Nanas. And the Nanas, it's gonna mirror what Rel Lyfe is too, but it's still a brand. That way, it's not a selfish movement.
So, what's free when they raising the price? What's that mean?
Oh, what's free when they raising the price? I'm weak. Man, where you find that around that? That's crazy. That's old. That's SoundCloud. It sound like that's funny. What's free when they raising the price? Nothing's free when they raising the price. I'm weak. But the world to try to make it seem to you like that. I think that's what I meant with that line. It was like they make it seem like, you know, whatever's there is for the taking and you can get whatever you want, but they make it more complicated, especially for us black people. We got to do a lot to kind of get on, and they'll act like it's a choice. You know, we can just do what we want. The world is for ours. We can go get it. And it's like, nah, y'all make it complicated. Y'all be raising the price. They be putting roadblocks in front of us, and it's like, all right, they make it seem like, oh, if you in control of our destiny. If you want to go get it, go get it. But
you gotta jump
it's obstacles. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. So I was just bitten in that line, like, man, they try to make it seem like it's free out there, and y'all making it even more harder for us. And I say we ain't stopping, but I see what y'all doing. I see exactly what's going on. They raising the price. That's what's happening. Even gatekeepers, you know, people will get on and then become the system, you know, versus like trying to bring people on. So it's like even them, like. And then, I don't know, I guess that's another catch-22. Because I get the aspect of some people feeling like, I've worked to be here, so you should have to put in some work too. But, nah, I'm more about empires and dynasty. If I work to crack the door open, I'm not going to make my people work to get through the same door that I got open. I better come in here and then work when you get in. Start finding new doors.
But I guess that could be a negative though, because some people that don't have to work to get the door open don't appreciate the fact that the door was open for them.
That's true.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying, you put in all the work and then you got somebody that's basically riding your coattail instead of, you know, unless you got those people, you know, it's different. You have people that like, okay, thank you for this door that you opened, and I'm going to show you that I really appreciate this because I'm going to put in just as much work. And then you got the people who is like, well, you opened the door, so I'm just going to ride this wave.
Now that's interesting.
You know?
I just think the problem is a lot of us haven't been through the door. So it's like, it's not even a lot of people we can say been through. That's something to champion, like especially for us, back to the black people. You know, there's not too many of us that get to win or get those opportunities. So when we do, if someone open the door, like I'm with you, it is bad when it don't work, but in a sense, I feel like you should be like, all right, let me transition my people to get them into that mindset, because that'll create something else. Like once you get in, you just kind of like, nah, you got to do what I had to do to get here, and it's like, you can just extend your arms. Not to say people don't be lazy. Those people exist, but I'm a strong believer that influence is like contagious. Like if somebody see
Mm-hmm.
you continuing to work hard, and you can't be around me but for so long, not doing nothing.
And you talked about that too. You talked about your boys not wanting to come out of the street life.
Right, right. Oh, we
But
smart. Yeah, we smart. I be talking all that. It's real.
yeah,
Yeah, through that too. Like even my whole journey has been so complex. Like I said, I did gospel music at one point. So I was in
yeah.
church performing that, and then I had people looking at me like from the street wise, like, oh, he just completely jumped on the other side, and it's like I'm being me. You know what I'm saying? I really was in church. It wasn't like I just did it as a gimmick. Like, all right, let me do gospel music, see if I could get on this one. Like, I wasn't in the streets, so it's like I was in church, and I was making gospel music about church. So it's just people didn't. It's hard for them to look at me as the leader when I'm not doing what's cool and I'm
Right.
validated. So that's why I gotta work so hard to validate myself or
So
just
did you
build up.
stop doing gospel music because it wasn't your way, or did you stop doing it because that wasn't?
Nah, it just wasn't where I was at no more. I got I'm crying. I went through like a big history pen. Like and it's not to say I'm still like spiritual, a little bit of religious too. Like I still jack some of the stuff, but the way of how serious I was into the gospel, like I was 100%. Like this is all it is. Oh, this is so. It was very organic as far as oh, like come to Jesus and we going. This is exactly what we need to do. And then in my life experiences, I may have not felt like everything is just Christian based or just out here. The world is bigger than that. I don't want to just be talking to church people. So I started learning more, and it's like, all right, that was a chapter. I'm still the same person. I
Right.
still have that within me, but as far as that, my mission to say this is how we pushing this brand and this envelope through gospel and church, I just transitioned into broadening it for every person, and it could work both ways.
Right.
I've like met people that got put onto my new music, and then found out about the gospel, and then they might get saved and go to church because it's like it's still one individual complex, but
Mhm.
the reason I stopped primarily doing gospel because I didn't want to make that my sole mission of
You
just
didn't want
talking
that
to the
label to be
church.
put in that
Yeah,
box.
right,
You
exactly. So like,
know?
nah, we bigger than that. We talk to everybody.
So on "Show Me the Way," you said a lot in that song,
Ooh,
speaking about your gospel.
right,
All right, but most importantly, you said you were asking if you should leave or lead.
right.
What do you mean by that?
Right? So I feel like you got two options in those type of situations. Like even me in my gospel path, like in trying to figure out how I can excel. When I think about where I come from, people from the streets, I feel like you got two choices. You either gonna say I'm gonna take the responsibility of leading my people out of here to a better place and just showing them a new world, or you can dust your hands. You can be like, this is draining. I'm not gonna be able to make it if I keep trying to hold on to these people. So instead, let me just leave, do what I want, and those I feel like just those are the options. You either take the burden of I got y'all, we out, or I gotta think about myself. So that was a realistic question I had to ask myself because they not even fucking with me like that. So it's like I'm trying to lead people that's like, what are you doing? And now you like, but I'm trying to show you, and it was like, nah, that ain't it. Like it is it, but you're like, nah, we ain't listening. And now I'm like, all right, do I still try to show them that what I'm saying is right eventually, or do I not give myself the headache? And that was a big question. I think I chose lead though. Like when I think about where I'm at today, like that was a serious. Even that showed me the way. I was talking to God too. I was like, tell
But
me
is
what to
leading
do.
still leading?
Yes, that's great. That was great. I like how you said that. Is leading still leading? Yes, but on the mental aspect, like I can lead physically and still lead, but if I like check out as far as I'm not even thinking about y'all mentally,
Right.
like that's different because I'm like I don't care. It's like all right, whatever they doing, I don't even care about my influence affecting them. But I agree with you. You gotta lead in order to lead, especially that crowd. And I think
Right.
that's a lot. That's a interesting part of my career is that I still pride myself in talking to a street audience. Like I know a lot of people like why you feel like you still need to attend to that. Like I got so much more of a wider audience and crowd with the music. But I'm like, that's where I come from. I still want to be able. I need to have lines in my raps that my niggas feel. It's gonna be like, oh nah,
Right.
this. There we go, really talking.
Stay
They like,
relatable.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I never want to mentally check out and just leave and be like, I ain't fucking with the streets no more. Like it's always that's where I came from. I know it's a bunch of other me's growing up in the streets. That's just I know who I am, or trying to figure out who I am, but it's all these influences derailing me to do something completely different. And it's like someone needs to step up and be like, you can be you. It's possible. Everybody else following other people anyway. So it's like once you learn to think for you, you're gonna stand out. And then over time, people respect you. They do. Just take time. People gotta see you really standing on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Stand on it and stay on that path. Don't
Right.
waver, you know.
Exactly.
So what does LIGER stand for?
Liger, and that stands for Leaders Inspiring Generations to Evolve and Reclaim. Ooh, that was
Okay.
deep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering. I was like, I gotta ask that
Yeah,
question.
Leaders Inspiring Generations to Evolve and Reclaim. And it's an album. I did that with Source. That was a joint album. And that was the type of time we was on. It just made sense because the Liger also was, like the lion and the tiger combined into one. It was a duo project with me and my man, so we like, alright, and then the content behind it is the type of time we on anyway. We really trying to lead, inspire generations to evolve and reclaim. So it made sense. It was a good acronym to go with the actual title of the project.
I like that though.
Yeah.
I had to ask you where to stood.
Nice, yeah, you got me with that one. That was good.
Alright, so we've been dancing around a lot of the issues that you have gone from gospel to being yourself and all of that, right? So can you explain the cover of You Thought Wrong?
Yes. Oh man, shout out to my boy Cam. Yeah, Cam Piper. The cover, this is my favorite cover, man. I ain't gonna hold you.
And that John is deep. And that's the other saying that's on your hood. It's on your hood.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's what Niners stand for.
Exactly.
Right? So
Yeah.
now I understand that. Because when I looked at it, I was like, what is that?
Nice, right. But nah, this cover is so fire because this is post gospel, right? So like I was doing the gospel music. I told you I was doing the 30 bar Thursdays. That was part of the transition too, because I got a gospel and every Thursday I was dropping bars, clips, bars.
So the bars was gospel or?
Nah, they was just realistic.
Okay.
Like realistic talk. I might have said a little gospel lines, but it wasn't gospel based. It was more so just where I was at in my mind. Kind of prepping the people that I'm about to start making. I'm not going to keep myself in this box. It's not even a transition. Like, all right, y'all about to see more of the organic me. My gospel is like performing and putting my stuff on. But this 30 bars, I'm in the crib. This is how I'm feeling right now. I'm about to give y'all this. So that helped the transition. But when I got into the project, I had the title of the project, You Thought Wrong. And I knew that sensed from just not trying to appease people's opinions. So even with the church world, this is all in my mind when I'm in the project portion of it. Cover work wise, shout outs to my graphic designer, man. Cam did his thing on this one because he understood what I was looking for. Like, I didn't tell him to do this. I gave him some crazy other idea. I'm like, I did have cops though. I'm like, I want you to put like cops, preachers in there, like kind of acting like they knew what I was doing, but I'm still telling them you thought wrong in a sense. And then he came up with this. He had blank canvases. That's when he first sent it to me. Everything was blank. He was like, I was thinking like have people show you and just tell me what to put on them. And I just got hyped. I'm like, bet. I know now I got to talk to all of you thought wrong. So you got the fake prophet, what happened to the gospel, you thought wrong. I knew they was going to try to act like, I was supposed to stay in this gospel box. He ain't from Harlem. Like people be acting like I switched up because you thought wrong. I had to get y'all too. He used me. Shout out to the women. Oh my God. You thought wrong. I ain't use you. No way. Yeah. You bugging. He broke. He thought wrong. But it made sense because it got to really display what I feel like I'm facing. There's so many opinions of people. Yeah, sellouts. He thought wrong. He got me fucked up.
Fake. And that y'all already in the back of the track.
I'm weak. But I love this though. Yeah, he did his thing with that.
Yeah, I loved it too. When I saw it, I was like, yo, I want him to break that down. Because that's, one, I say you use the negatives as a positive.
Right.
So everything that they could throw at you, like in a rap battle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You put an Eminem on them.
Right.
You gonna tell me I'm from 8 Mile, sleep on my mama's couch, but that's what I do. That is what it is.
I knew they could have channeled with my mom. I'm crying. Nah, exactly though. That was the point, cause that was the title too. You thought wrong. Who was I talking to? And I had to really make sure to capture that or make it clear. I'm talking to y'all, the think I'm a prophet? Like, oh, why you ain't doing the gospel no more? You can't tell me who I am, So, and people would think that you are an artist. You see artists go through it nowadays. Fans have some type of, I don't want to say entitlement, but it kind of is that. Like they know you better than you know yourself.
Yeah.
So you gotta just stay on this path, on this journey.
Yeah, I spoke with a poet who
Mm.
said that when it come down to fans, they feel like they know you better than what they actually do. So they feel like they can say things and do things
Right.
like they go everyday Joe, but they not.
Right.
You know. So it's just mind blowing to see how people react, and
Right.
I feel like they hold people in the spotlight to a higher regard than what they hold everyday people to.
It's
And
cute,
I don't
though,
feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
We still human though.
Yeah,
We all still human.
But it's like that's another catch too, because as I can say we want that, but I want my fans to feel that invested, like with the music. I want you to feel like you know me, but we gotta control our accessibility too.
Yeah.
Like I don't want you to think you that accessible where you just like, man, listen, y'all be late. That's what I realize about art too. Like you say, like the stack projects, like I might give y'all something when this album came out. I'm not on that. Like I was creating this last year to get that out, but when I give this to you and you receive it, you're like, oh, I know him. I recorded that 2 years ago, buddy. Yeah. You don't know what level I'm on today. So yeah, it happens though, but yeah, got to be more careful. Just don't let them feel like they really can. I go through that with my pops. Yeah, like my biggest fan, but then he get to see he got access to me, so he get to see all of the. If I ain't got my room clean, Rel Lyfe room would look like this. Fuck is that? Like, what are you talking about? Like, yes, it would. No other fan would see my room. What's wrong with you? I'm crying, but it happens though. People will create this image of you in their mind, and you have to be that.
And that's the thing though, they create the image. So it's like, even if you're saying this is who I am,
right?
Because you're being transparent in what you deliver. You know what I'm saying? You're saying this is who you are. They take perception as 90% of a conversation, in my opinion. So even with listening to your music, they take their perception of who you are and they create the narrative. And if you don't deliver on the narrative that they created, then they got some negative connotation that deliver to you.
Ain't that crazy?
You know what I'm saying?
And we dealing with art. You know what I'm saying? So
when
it's kind of meant for that. Like you supposed to take whatever perception you got out of it. Some songs I might put out and you might receive it. And I ain't mean none of that shit you got. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause I feel like you was talking about this and that shit just helped me. And I'm like, I was not talking about that shit. I was, something else. But if it worked for you, that's what art do. That's why I like the mystiqueness. Some artists or painters, they would never tell you what it is. And then you get other people like, nah, this is what it is. But this is what it is for me. So it's like a part of that is cool, but it's different because like we perform it. So people think that you are the art, like, and that's a good subject because I'm very big. I don't be fans of people no more. Like I try to be fans of what you presenting, like, because we don't know these people. We really don't. Like as much as you can think you know me, you don't know me. Like don't try to make it seem like this is what you thought I would have did.
They don't know the real life.
Nah, like, exactly. Take this art and go ahead. There you go. This for you. Enjoy that, but don't put that on me. And I pride myself on living it though, but I don't put that on everybody else. This is a form of art. We're being creative. This is like our inner minds. It's hard to act on. A lot of people not know who they are, but don't act on it because it's not easy. So it's like it's tricky. You want someone to be the art that they put out there, and it's like it's tough. I guess it's tough. You're gonna be it, but
especially if that's not who they really are, because then they have to force themselves to live.
You know how many people struggling with R. Kelly right now? They can't listen to it. And it's great art, but you like, yo, this is who he are, and now you put yourself in a
You gotta separate R. Kelly from Robert.
Right, exactly. Like, it is crazy. So like, I be trying to encourage people that too. Even with me, as much as I'm gonna stand on it, but still appreciate the art for it being art. Like, don't try to put the artist in the same boat as the art. Like, you are this. No, I'm not. You're gonna be disappointed when you'll find out. And I'm gonna keep making good art.
And then sometimes when they do that, like, okay, you said R. Kelly, the baby, like, you're surprised at the shit he say, but you must not listen to his lyrics. Right. Because he say the same shit in his lyrics.
Exactly, right.
You know what
Kelly
I'm saying?
too, right.
He said, this bitch nigga dick it ain't free.
Right.
Right. So when he get on stage and put it in a different way, you mad because he's saying it, but you bopping to it in the club.
Right, your feelings was hurt. I feel like he shouldn't have said that as the Yeah,
like,
listen.
no,
Don't you like the art? Stop.
Right.
You gotta separate it, and that's a
Right.
discussion in itself. Like whether people want to separate the artist from the art, and I'm big on the art. The art is the art, but it is a line there though. You know, because that go back to the artist performer conversation. Like, you be an artist and deliver art, but when you are out here performing, there's some type of responsibility with that. You gotta know that you got a fan base, people looking at you. Just be mindful to some extent, but still be yourself. I ain't saying not be yourself, but still like you got people watching you. Like when you aware of that and you know that, it come with some type of responsibility.
So you're an independent artist?
Yes.
Do you plan on staying independent?
Ideally, I wouldn't say staying. I plan on ending independent. So I know that for a fact, but at this current point, if it makes sense, you know, because I know I don't got all of the like the clout, the numbers, like everything don't match up. I don't got 200,000 fans or anything like that. So if I get an opportunity where I get a lot of exposure and it makes sense, like I'm not opposed to it. Again, it gotta make sense, but independence, I got enough work out independently to where I feel like I got leverage. Like if I was to get into a deal or do a contract, I can say you can't touch none of this. Like this is my catalog. Whatever we do.
But what about the content that you would have to create under that?
Oh, I'm a machine. I work. Yeah. What you need? 2 albums? Let's do it.
But what if what if they try to change your creative direction?
That's not an option.
So that would be what your cutoff at.
Yeah,
so you're not gonna change Rel Lyfe, but
I'm open.
You know,
Again,
try some things.
Yeah, like I said, what have to make sense. I'm definitely open, but nah, I'm not even. That's not my character. You really can't. I'm past that point where someone could feel like they can tell me what's better for me, better than I know.
Right.
Everything better be suggestions and ideas, and I'm gonna listen. Like, all right, well we can try that, see if this works. But you think you're gonna make me believe you know it? Like, no, I'm telling you this gonna work, this gonna be it, and I'm over here like, all right, so I'm gonna do this because he said it's gonna. I'm
and
grown.
that's how artists start sounding like other artists.
Right? Yeah,
you know
yeah,
like,
crazy. Yep.
All y'all making different songs, but all of them follow the same trend and beat, and you know.
Yeah, that's a different beast too, because they just be trusting people like that think they know, and people know how to sell dreams. Yeah, you know how to sell dreams for it. I tell you,
that's it. So I want to thank you for coming.
No problem. Thank y'all for having me. Yes, appreciate you too. You came prepared. This was good. This was good. I ain't have nobody pick my brain like this in a minute.
I'll do it anytime. Anytime
Yeah.
you want to have a conversation, I'm down.
And I be by myself. I ain't trusting niggas. Nobody.
Too many niggas.
Try to line you out here. I know. Telling you. I watch people
Too many
energy.
niggas with agendas.
Everybody energy. I see you thinking I'm down with that fuck.
Too many
shit.
niggas with agendas. Keep your distance. I don't know yo.
Woo! That's why niggas steady moving dolo. Too many niggas with agendas. Keep your distance. I don't know yo.
Yeah.
Shawty, she just dick like a pogo. I got my name, see it's branded everywhere like a logo. That's why niggas steady moving dolo. Too many niggas with agendas. Keep your distance. I don't know yo.
Yeah.
Shawty, she just dick like a pogo. I got my name, see it's branded everywhere like a logo. That's why niggas steady moving dolo. Too many niggas with agendas, keep your distance, I don't know yo. Shawty, she just dick like a pogo. I got my name, see it's branded everywhere like a logo. And I can never sleep, I be so. You know the plan was to put the game up in a choco. Music make them bounce like it's go-go. I call my break with my group, now I'm waiting for my solo. Been around, see now, people really think they slick. They hang around, treat you foul, try and do like you a lick. Nah, nigga, that's a no-no. I be all up on my cheese like the journal. I be quick to do this shit up on my own, bro. I ain't got the time to be around no bozos, no. Mugs ain't much, niggas grill all in my face. But meanwhile, these smiles, we don't wanna ride my place. Niggas thinking that they low though. Pay attention to your friends, that's a no-show. They stab you in the back, that's a low blow. I'm just tryna warn niggas if they don't know. That's why niggas steady moving dolo. Too many niggas with agendas, keep your distance, I don't know yo.
Yeah.
Shawty, she just dick like a pogo. I got my name, see it's branded everywhere like a logo. That's why niggas steady moving dolo. Too many niggas with agendas, keep your distance, I don't know yo. Shawty, she just dick like a pogo. I be loco. Paranoid everywhere, they be walking with a fofo. Type of people you don't wanna know, though. Type of niggas never tell if they really friends or foes, no. Around, see now, people try to get you lined up. Main time, be the one right there that's by your side. Niggas scheming for a photo. Nigga try to use my name just for promo. I be quick to tell a nigga that's a no-go. But I learned to do that shit up on your own, bro. Ain't much niggas grill all in my face, but meanwhile these smiles be the one to rob my safe. Niggas thinking that they low though. Pay attention to your friends, that's a no-show. They'll stab you in the back, that's a low blow. I'm just trying to warn people if they don't know. That's why niggas steady moving dolo. Too many niggas with agendas, keep your distance, I don't know yo.
Yeah.
Shawty, she just dick like a pogo. I got my name, see it's branded everywhere like a logo. That's why niggas steady moving dolo. Too many niggas with agendas, keep your distance, I don't know yo. Shawty, she just dick like a pogo. I got my name, see it's branded everywhere like a logo. Around, see now, people try to get you lined up. Main time, be the one right there that's by your side.
Too many niggas with agendas. Keep your distance, I don't know yo.
Mean mugs ain't much, niggas grill all in my face. But meanwhile, these smiles be the one to rob my safe.
Too many niggas with agendas. Too many niggas with agendas. Keep your distance, I don't know yo.
Tink did not come to play with you hoes. I came to slay, bitch.